especially me and Shenee, man. It was crazy. Me and Shenee used to just come get you from after grandma's house and keep you the whole weekend. Everybody at Kmart knew you. Where Shenee was, all my friends knew you because I would always have like little slumber parties and stuff at the house. So all my friends knew you from the slumber parties at the house. All Shenee co-workers at Kmart knew you. You was just our baby. You ain't never just been by yourself. You've been our child.
I really didn't cause any trouble, right?
No.
Not as a young kid.
I can't say you did.
I think you waited till your adolescent years to do all that.
Yeah.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it.
Love it, man. 25 lighters on my dresser, yes sir. I got to get paid. Bit then it won't be a little hit. Go read a book, you illiterate son of a bitch. Step up your vocab. Don't be surprised. Patience to these false accusations. They faking the shaking because the money you're making. Bricks some money on the dresser. Drive a compressor. Top notch. Get the most.
Hello everyone, it's your host Mr. D713 with Everythang Culture, back with y'all with another great episode. Tonight, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, we have our previous guests from our Makings of You, Shenee, Angela, and once again, Taunya may jump on, but either way, we have two of the Simmons Sisters with us this evening.
Hello,
once
everyone.
Again at this moment. But oh yeah, man! Thank y'all so much for coming on again.
Of course,
I've been
waiting on this day.
I loved it. I've gotten so many calls from the family how much they enjoyed it and learned something new. Oh, it was great. And y'all are just the start of many. You know, Trenton was the first one. Trenton was the first family member. So
I love
shout
Trenton.
him out. Oh yeah. So I love just hearing so much about y'all. And once again, I said it on our show, y'all are my culture. You know, it starts with us, you know, and we were just speaking how I was younger and I used to ride everywhere with y'all. I can't say I remember everything. I remember where Kmart was located. I remember we used to hang out a lot. I remember we used to just run behind y'all. I used to love going over Brenda's house when I was younger. You know.
Yeah.
Love it.
And we were all girls there, so when you would come by, it would be a treat for us too because we were, like I said, a house full of girls. So when we got Brandon, we were like, yes, our little brother, come on, let's come on through and play with him. Come on. Like a little toy we had.
And man, I talk about it quite often when people be trying to compare relationships and people. I like, y'all don't understand. I was raised by a bunch of women. I have cousins, sisters, aunties. I listen. I know what your ass thinking. Y'all be just. I know what's going on. They done pit me to the game, so it don't work on me. And y'all can try it if you want to, but I listen. But I appreciate all the advice been given and. Like, so coming up, and this is so many things that I'm telling the past 2 weeks. I'm like, man, the culture, I didn't even think about the title. What should I call it? What should we talk about? And I was thinking about how we define our culture, you know? And I think we were thinking from we're all Black, African-American, be specific, we're from East Texas. Tyler, Texas. Y'all currently reside in Fort Worth. We all went to the same high school. We all had the same caregiver in our life. We all had the same grandparents. You know, something's unique that other people don't have, but we share with one another. So I'll come back to that, but then I'm just letting everyone know how it looks. So right now I'm thinking about, coming up from growing up in Tyler, what was that like? You know, coming up where y'all, you know, what y'all, I ain't trying to throw y'all age out there, but y'all consider millennials or y'all consider
No, and I'm be honest with you, I'm proud of my age. I'm 50.
Me too. I'm 48.
Yeah. So I'm proud because anything on this side of the earth is always a blessing. So whatever that number is, I'm wholly embracing that. But for us, we came, you know, up in a small town. So everybody knew just about everybody. And if you didn't know people directly, rest assured they knew your mom, your dad, or your grandparent. They knew somebody. And those small circles that we ran in, everybody, you know, say cousin or auntie or uncle, because our family was just that close to several people in town. But our family was very large as well. So we were truly related to a lot of people in Tyler.
Correct.
And Tyler being so what we would say small, going from one place to another, we would, you know, sometimes like, oh, it's traffic on the road. We tripping out over traffic and we just going down Broadway or the Loop or something to that effect.
If we only knew.
The Fort Worth and that, the big city.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston. We got on the freeways. We were like, never say like, this not what real traffic is. Like, is it? Because we really thought that what we were dealing with was a lot. Then when we saw a big scope of it and a big scale of it, we were like, whoa, how y'all driving this mess? How y'all being all this? 5 o'clock traffic is a real deal up here. 5 o'clock traffic in Tyler wasn't nothing. We didn't even really know what 5 o'clock traffic really looked like to us.
And that's a culture thing as well, you know, just learning to drive. So when did y'all get just to toss it out for everyone that's listening that can't see the video or, you know, ain't on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, y'all. But the population in Tyler, Texas, as of 2019 is like 104,000 people, you know, and trust me, it's grown over the years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I feel the same way. It was... When I moved to Houston, it was like a culture shock. But when I try to tell people how Tyler operates, they just don't understand sometimes, you know, because it's normal to us because, you know, we somewhat been ingrained in it, you know, that's just part of it because that's how we were raised.
Right.
And I know over the years, you know, things adjust and we move and we grow. And we become, you know, we continue to adjust into what we become. But what's something about Tyler that, like, man, you were all, let's say, what's something about Tyler that you appreciate, that you like, you know, you really loved about the city or the town?
Visiting other people and not having to drive so far to visit them. Like,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Very
going
good.
to visit a friend of ours, you're just really about 5 to 10 minutes away at the most. Here, you're having to jump on probably multiple freeways just to go see a family member or a close, you know, friend or whatever. The one thing I must say about us here in Fort Worth, for whatever reason, we've all kind of always migrated to being within the same areas of one another here. We don't have a lot of family members. Just here recently, like with Destiny and Taunya and them, they moved out to Dallas area. But we all used to be right here in Fort Worth, 5 to 10 minutes away from each other, all around the corners from one another. But that was the big thing for us in Tyler. You know, going to Grandma, you know, with us living in North Tyler, and Grandma living and Grandpa living in St. Louis, that was what our far drive looked like, right?
And let me tell y'all real quick. So North Tyler, near I-20, maybe intersections of 69, Broadway, we call it. And North Tyler and St. Louis. St. Louis is like between west side and south side of Tyler, if I'm not mistaken. And it's no more than a 20-minute drive. Less than that, maybe. Like with traffic. I'm talking about you there like that. You know, it's like maybe 10 is not that far to go. Like if it was a freeway that you really could take, you'll be there much quicker. But it's just you're taking the street. So I'm just trying to paint the picture of it, you know what it looks like.
Yeah. And like now Shenee and I we've never really just lived far away from each other. For whatever reason, me and her just feel like we always gotta be. Well, I can't speak for her. I just gotta speak for me. Ever since the dryer incident. But anyway,
and quickly, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you. We have a sister that's entering the chat right now.
Okay.
If you're looking for products that will help your hair, such as growth serum and edge control, make sure to check out Diamond Dior Collections, and that's Collections with a K, because your hair is like a diamond, beautiful, valuable, and always in. You can find them at Diamond Dior Hair Collections on Instagram or at the website at www.diamonddiorhaircollections.com or just call at 214-229-2468. So, all right, we're back. We have, you can see our sister Taunya here, but you may not be able to hear our sister Taunya. But we're going to make it all work out. But we're talking about some things that we appreciate by coming from Tyler, Texas. Like what are things that we look at just coming from the whole city? Angela shared that she appreciated what she appreciates, just she didn't have to drive all the way across town to see someone or just go anywhere. She didn't have to deal with not only the traffic but the distance. Shenee, what about you? What is something that you appreciate, from being from a small town like Tyler?
I appreciated the fact that we got to catch, clean, and be able to eat. Yeah, our food. Like going to the farm and getting food, eggs and stuff like that. My granddad with, skin stuff, rabbits or whatever. We had fried, all that good stuff too. I mean, we didn't know no better then. Now that we grown, we're like, oh, I don't want that. But back then, Grandma had it smelling so good and graved it all up. It made it look delicious.
Shenee, let me tell you.
And I would be devastated. I was like, oh, you killing guys, animals. Not that I just had a whole hamburger and a hot dog and fried chicken, right?
Yeah,
but
my kids don't know nothing about peeling peas, shelling peas.
Oh my God.
They don't know all of that stuff. Ooh. They don't know how to milk no cow. They don't know about going to the farm, getting no eggs.
Nothing about purple hull peas.
Yeah.
Purple hull peas to them. They're like, purple hull peas? Is that the same as black eyed peas? No.
No.
Everything.
No.
Yes. We would sit on the porch and shell peas and all that.
You and Taunya got a whooping for that. Kicking peas under the porch.
Man, and once again, I did not know Shenee was so country until we did her Makers of You. When she brought up talking about y'all did all that. I was like, I came in on the latter end of all those activities. Now we did shell peas, okay. I'm talking about that was work. That was, oh my gosh. I remember I think we went to go pick peas one time. Did y'all pick them too?
Yeah.
Man, and they like them tall stalks and all that.
Berries, the berry cobblers.
Man, I say that's the closest thing I get to slavery. Tell you that right there. Oh, because I didn't have a choice. I had to do it. Yeah. I had to do it.
Plums, all that stuff to make preserves. Man. I'm telling you, it felt like I was picking cotton because it was like, and I remember it was like,
wow.
I remember it was some wasps.
Different way.
I mean, it was some wasp that came after my ass. No, I would get a whooping if I didn't do it. Do you understand the difference?
Who whooped Brandon? Who whooped you?
Oh man, I didn't. Once again, I would admit I didn't get that many whoopings. I got whoopings. Right, I didn't get that many whoopings. Okay, I didn't get that many whoopings. But all I'm saying like that. Those things I enjoyed as well.
That was real true country living. And like I say, our kids, will never experience and never have that. Man. They'll never know what that type of work and life is about, which are fun and fond memories for us.
Man, take them out there. You can give them the experience, give them the opportunity to do it and show them. I think that could be a bonding moment. That's my perspective, because when I had the kids come down, I may take them when I took them to U of H and stuff, I showed them around campus. When I walked around campus with them and they were tired, I'm like, this was like being in college. I'm like, this is an experience that I had, and no, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, damn, I see why I stayed in shape as soon as it's good. I'm like, you walking one way to another. I'm like, you gonna wear yourself out.
Braylon left his nice Michael Jordan jacket, sir. I ain't gonna never forget that. Oh. He had just got that jacket.
Man, they
really excited.
But when I tell you they would have a ball out there, shout out to U of H Rec. We'll go bowling, they get on that basketball, we do ping pong. It was so many different things to do. And I'm like, this is what I did when I was in my off time in college. These are the opportunities and things you'll be able to see and do. It's not all work, You get to play at times. Don't play it all the time, but
you know, one of the weird things we used to do growing up, which as little kids, our parents or grandparents, we would do something. One of the things that our kids or even us today would think would be so nasty, right? Would chew some food and give it to our child. We never thought of stuff like that. You know, as little kids, my mama done chewed something up and put it in my mouth. I'm like, okay, thank you, right? But not too long ago, KK did that to me. Chewed something up and put it in my mouth. And I went on and just ate it like, okay, it's KK or whatever. I don't tell her what she ate prior to doing that, right? But I ate it. London lost her mind. Ew, mama, you so nasty. Why would you do that? I said, girl, you know how many things you done ate out of my mouth, right? And that devastated London. She didn't want to talk to me no more. You gave me something out of your mouth. But that was us growing up. We didn't think of stuff like that. Just like drinking out of a water hose. Just like picking the berries, picking the plums
off other people's trees. Well, I heard that it's illegal. You know,
well, because you trespassing.
There you go. You trespassing.
Yeah, Miss Gossett, that lived down the street from Grandma.
Yeah,
she had the best, most beautiful plums on her tree, but she did not want you going to get her plums off her tree.
Rest in peace, Miss Gossett.
Do you remember Miss Gossett?
Yeah, that was my godmother's mother.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. We would go down there and pick plums off her tree, and oh, Lord forbid she did it, but she had the best plums ever.
Man, it was some plums across from. If you go down, did you know Alice in Wonderland where Mikey stayed?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It was a plums across the street from where Mikey stayed.
That's what that's what we picked mostly.
Yeah.
And berries was over there too. Wow, berries they were all up under the plum thing. But you also had some bullnellers up in there.
Man, see, people don't know nothing about a bullnelly.
Oh my God.
Man.
And my fair share.
Mess you up.
I've never, thank God.
Shenee,
thank God I've never stepped in a bullnelly. Only person of my age range, younger, was Dante that I saw step in the bullnelly. And he went plumb crazy. And
that is off the chain.
And I like what? And how do y'all? What do you do when somebody? Y'all know where we're going here. So what do you do when you step in the bullnelly? When you see your cousin?
Well, piss is the only thing that takes the sting away. So when I stepped in the bullnelly, of course, my cousin, he was all too ready to give his piss to me on my leg.
I'm assuming can I just guess? Like I wish we for all the family members listen to this. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to take your time and guess which family member was the one that pissed. Okay, like I got my guess in. Let me throw my gas in the hat. 5.
Angie was there. Taunya was. They know who it was.
4,
was so
3, 2, 1. Which cousin was this?
Carlos.
Okay.
He could not even get his pants open quick enough. I couldn't even say that the sting was on there good before he was ready.
And he was on his bicycle. I want to say his bicycle still rolling down the street when he
was so excited. Oh my God. I thought I was going to die. But when I say that piss hitting that damn bullnelly thing was the best thing since life.
So it works.
It works. It took the sting right out.
Get out of here. I never experienced it, so I can't say.
Taunya gonna have to hold up a sign. We see her lips moving, but we don't know what she's saying.
It's the opposite of the last video. We heard you last time. We can't see you, but it's some flips all around. But when I tell you, like,
man,
I never heard it actually. I heard it worked, but I never heard actually from a person that said it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up!
It's instant gratification.
Damn, get out of here! I had no idea.
Okay, Taunya got
hold on. Raise it up a little bit, Taunya. Carlos always a little bit higher.
Oh, taking out his hammer.
Oh Lord.
He was always, yes. Anybody come over, he gonna take it out and want to show it to him.
Pray for our kinfolk, Carla. We look forward to having you on in the future, kinfolk. But
please pray for him.
But man, I just love hearing these stories and these experiences. I would say like what I miss from Tyler is like, man, just the community. Able to, it was like that a little bit in Texas when I was there, but I talked about it before. You used to be able to check on your neighbors and your neighbors checked on you with no hesitation. Everything cool, like especially like from I knew, of course with the Jacksons, I knew Mikey, I knew of course Miss Gossett, I close with the Fords, and that was just in St. Louis, coming up. My Head Start was literally around the corner, Oh my gosh, I remember the way I cried.
Wonderland.
Did
you ever go to Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, that was I went to Alice in Wonderland Head Start. I remember Uncle Burrow. Oh my gosh, I remember they like these little memories. When you're that young, kind of fade in, come in a little bit. Some stuff I hold on to because I'm a little dramatic. But I remember Uncle Burrow. This is an impactful moment in life. This is nothing I could throw on. I remember Uncle Burrow I remember them talking about school, and my mom was like, "Oh boy, you getting ready to go to school?" I'm like watching cartoons. Okay, whatever, nigga. I'm chilling. I remember Uncle Burrow like, all right, why you school? I'm like, me not grasping and fully understanding what was going on. I remember walking in. He introduced me some people, and I'm like, okay, kids. That's what's up. A lot of kids. Never seen this many kids before. Okay, cool. And he was like, all right. He turned around trying to walk off. I'm like, I walked out right with him. I'm like, where we go? Like, all right, bye, y'all. And he like, nah, you got to stay. I'm like, man, I did not want to stay. I'm like, what you mean I got to stay? He had to give me a whooping to stay at Alice in Wonderland. So my first day, I'm crying, whooping, whatever, stayed. And I'm like, all right. It's crazy how I can retain some of this knowledge. But I'll never forget, I'm mad. You get your ass whooped. You mad at everybody at this moment, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, like, what are these folks? Snot nose, this, and that. And it's crazy that I know some of these people still to this day. But I never forget the first time I seen kids like really fight with one another was two girls. I don't remember these girls' name. I don't remember what they look like, nothing. But I it's a picture somewhere out there. But they got in a fight over not Alvin, Chip and Dale. Who was Chip and who was Dale over a lunchbox? I'll never forget that. I'm like, they got in a full fist fight. And I remember sitting back, I didn't say it, but in my head, how I rationalize it now, I would say, man, I'm trying to stop cursing. I can't say what I want to say. But these girls crazy. These girls crazy. They legit fighting over who's Chip and Dale. It started out small, but it escalated. Wow. But yeah, I really appreciate that togetherness, especially when I moved to live with Brenda. Man, the community. I think people take for granted how great a community living on North Confederate was. I mean, do you understand? I talk to people and we talk about like black people. The whole street was black, and they all supported one another. Like when I drive home, you know how long if people are outside and you know how long it takes for me to get home when people are outside doing their yard and stuff because I'm waving, saying hi, and everybody stopping and talking and
they want to know how you doing
Yeah,
now.
You know what else is great? Bringing it is if you think about it now, those were all homeowners.
That's what I'm getting at.
They weren't renting their homes. They weren't those were true people who had worked real hard, on great jobs and, had came up. And
have tonight are still there now.
And that's my point. And that's what I'm saying is seeing black people, because we get so many things people talk about what we can't do and what we don't do. That we did, that was happening right there. Mm-hmm. That was a good perception of, I would say, black people making a difference in the community that they're in. Just seriously, once again, I remember, right, you go across some railroad tracks, it may be a little something different, But I remember my mother, a lot of people were scared of North Tyler, you know, and so a lot of people still scared. A lot of people judge it. A lot of people say certain things about it. But man, it's a like great community. I mean, and I like it's not perfect, but it's great. I would say. I remember going trick or treating. I remember going to the nursing home to help out. I remember going, Melrose. I mean, like, I ain't gonna, oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, we can hear you, Taunya.
I don't know what you did.
I've been fooling with all kind of stuff.
Well, welcome.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it was like, man, I really do look back and like I appreciate that. That's something that I hope it never stops. And man, and I have relationships with all these people. With I remember with Donna, I remember coming home for her funeral. I wasn't able to come home for some because of COVID and things, but I had a relationship and they cared about us. I know I told y'all the story. I don't know if y'all know about this story where y'all know about a couple of my friends getting in a little bit of trouble and have to take vacations away for misbehaving. But I would say the night before they got in their trouble, they were trying to rob a pizza man. Okay, I'm grown now. This is about 20 years ago, almost, maybe like 18. Hope she don't trip. But I was having a party in Brenda house. Okay, big party. I'm talking about like party. I'm talking about about 30 people there. All right.
Was she there?
Hell no.
Hell no.
No, she was. I don't know where she was in Fort Worth something. Like, okay, cool. But I had a lot, man. I'm talking about. It was drinking.
That goes back to you did stuff we couldn't do. But go ahead.
I'll slip up, whatever. Okay, we
hear the pride thing because I ain't never had no party shit.
It was one. That was just.
Hey, we gonna circle back to this.
Yeah. That was just one of them. Okay, but either way, what I'm getting at is like, man, we stayed on a dead end. Okay. And I remember, had my group of friends, we chilling, kicking it, we inviting girls, whatever, old people. We was inviting people like I had my circle, then we inviting people that was, how the circle goes. You got this set of friends, they got a set of friends, they got a set of friends. It got to a point where it got some folks that I'm like, I don't really, they stay in some shit, excuse my language, y'all. And they stay in trouble. Okay. And I remember they were like coming over, and that was one of the first times in my life that I saw how, like, literally how peer pressure. It was like something out of a movie. It was like watching the movie, but you in it. That, man, I saw how they were like, "Hey, man, we about to rob this pizza man." I'm like the hell, you not here? You ain't. No, you not y'all. No, the hell you ain't. Like, and I saw how it was like laying lines in the sand. It was like certain people was like, you like me. I was like, first one, nah, y'all got to go with that. Period. You got to get on out. Think about what you're doing. Then I saw the ones that like kind of just moved to the side and say nothing. Then I saw ones that was in that middle that didn't want to do it, but they were getting pulled on each side. What should I do? And the other one's like, hey, well, we just go somewhere. Cause it was they knew some other folks down the street. We could just go say we had called a pizza at that house. And I'm like, y'all got to think about it. We had a dead end. Every single one of my neighbors know who I am. We know each other in this community,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And look how many cars in front of the house and at the dead end. Think, if the police call, where they gonna go?
They already know Brenda Simmons, right?
Do you feel me? I'm like, think what? And man, I'll never forget the next day I'm looking on the news seeing some of my friends getting locked up. Like, it was right there. But at the same time, I had enough sense to know how that I had a community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it happens like that. I think if we had more sense of community for the neighbors to know who you are, not saying, because I know back in the day, the neighbors could, like, I'm telling you, if I was locked outside, I can go down to Donna's house. I can go to Carla's house. I can go to Javen's house. I can go to Tim's house. I can go to all these places. And I'm like, I know I had security there,
Mm-hmm.
And what do things look like now? Do y'all know y'all neighbors like that now? And I know it's reasons.
Well, I can't go to their homes, but I do stand outside when I'm in the yard, and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But once on one side, I got the sheriff department. Him and his wife work for the sheriff's department. And then on the opposite side, I have neighbors who have a family there. And then across the street, we have, people that we, kind of speak and wave to. But I can say for 14 years, I lived in a home. And I didn't really know the neighbors at all. Like we would always speak, when we see people, but nothing major. Nothing like we did when we were in Thailand, of course.
Yeah.
Well, in my apartment, my next door neighbor, I come in my house and I smell something foul one night. I said, what is that? Smell like shit. That's what they said. Oh, that's weed. So when she's smoking next door coming over here, what you do in your house is your business. That's fine. But smoke that shit on your patio somewhere. Then I got one that lives up on top of me, and she thinks she in the damn bowling alley. She goes something hits the floor and just rolls across the floor. Then she got a dog up there just with the paws on the floor. So I'm like, this ain't right. And no one of them here when I got here.
That's the culture.
One of them, they got that old loud.
Yeah, that's that loud.
Oh my God.
So you need to be asking, how do you know what it smells like? But I ain't gonna get
I be scared. I didn't have a clue what that was.
Trust me, living here in Seattle, you just walk down the street and I'm like, it's different. It's a different culture up here. It's very different with marijuana being legal. And you can smoke it outside at a restaurant, walking on the street. Like they say, you're supposed to smoke it like in your home, but man, people smoke everywhere. It's like drinking.
That's how it was in Vegas and in San Francisco when we went there. Wow. Oh my gosh, it was like everywhere we went, we saw it. It was like, oh wow.
I'm talking about, man. I go on the run at least once. I try to do once a day, at least 2 to 3 miles, and I'm like, what you call it, the gas. I'm like, but it's out there. It's out there. It's
horrible.
Well, it's once again, it's a different culture. I'm big on everybody do things differently. Things are progress, and as long as you do it responsibly and how that looks, how they, as long as no one's get hurt or affected, you're able to do what you need to do. Do what you do. Live your life. But I'm happy things are becoming more legal as far as the effect of people are not being criminalized for some of these things. Because I've been an advocate for some time that alcohol is worse than marijuana. But I digress on that. I digress.
Well, you think about it, even when we grew up, we grew up around family members and people who smoke marijuana. It's been around forever. We've been around it forever, even as little kids. I mean, I remember this. It doesn't smell like that smell, but we knew what it was.
It's different now. I think back in the day they were smoking some sticks and seeds. I'm like, right now
they roll up and
I didn't experience it until older age, and oh yeah, I don't like do what you do. It makes a lot more sense. I think now it gives me a little bit more. I've talked about it on the show. It gives me like anxiety and shit now. Like it ain't for me, And I talk about, man, even with I know how to hold stuff, and I want to have a show later on, and we just chopping it up right now that talk about addiction, because addiction has been part of our family. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I hate that. I think about, oh my God, I was talking to the wifey, and she got mad. She like, y'all are country as shit. I'm like, what you talking about? She like, how do you say your cousin Mark Carroll's name? I said, it's Mark Carroll. Why don't y'all say that? Like, y'all always say.
We run it all together. We just run it, roll it through.
Yeah, that's Mark Carroll.
She like the whole time I think it's like Mark Carroll. Like, I like, no, it's Mark Carroll. Like, we know that. Like, she saw it on Facebook, like how it's written out. She like, this whole time you've been saying Mark Carroll. I'm like, I just said what we gonna say. I'm like, I just know I call him Mark, and he had a curl, and I knew his last name I knew his middle was Carroll. But I'm like, I'm calling Mark Carroll. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, the title of this podcast, this platform is Everything Culture. I embrace my countryness. I am who I am. I be who I be. Okay, and I love the way I love, because And that's what we're doing right now. I'm trying to pull together where we can have.
Pinky.
Oh
What
my god.
her name does?
Oh my gosh. You know I love. Pinky. Pinky Lee. Oh my gosh, I can talk all day about Aunt Pinky. You know, she was a delight.
She was a Brandon fan too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh man, I love Aunt Pinky.
Brandon did absolutely no wrong for her, for real.
Because I didn't
whatever.
If Aunt Pinky asked me to take somebody out, they'll be out. I'm telling you. I'm just letting you know. And I remember when we had a family member that I want to say, keep it a book. My brother went to go try to stay with Aunt Pinky for a little bit. Now, this is about 2000. This is when I was in Houston. This is right when
I remember that.
I came back. Aunt Pinky called me. Now she didn't say, "Hey, come get this nigga." she didn't say that, but she said enough to let me know.
But not in so many words.
Bingo. She said, "Hey,
come get this nigga."
I was on the road, like I was there at the joke, like, "Hey, let's get on out of here." Let's go. Let's roll. But man, I talk about Aunt Pinky and it kind of go into, I say this often. Man, we got some men in the family I look up to, and I am blessed to have, but we have a lot of women in the family, a lot of strong women in the family, and I'm Pinky. One of the people that I compare to Aunt Pinky is my mother-in-law. Man, just sweet, wholesome, loving. Always try to find the positive in things. Always, you know what I mean? No telling what I've been through. I just see the sweet stuff in them, And I look at now, it's like y'all are women in the family, okay? Y'all are the up and coming. Y'all be the matriarchs before you know it, okay? So what is it like, not only just being a woman, I would like y'all could break it down, just being a woman in general, coming from Tyler, Texas, but what is a woman like being a woman here in the Johnson clan, Johnson family?
It's a privilege to come from the Johnsons. Because the Johnson was a strong, strong family. They stood by you no matter what. They come together. That's one thing I loved about the Johnsons. A long time ago, you used to hear people be like, I thought they were being funny. Oh, you kin to them Johnsons. You look like them Johnsons. I'm like, woman, get on with that. But when you start hearing it all the time, black or white, do you know any Johnsons? I look, But you look like the Johnsons, because we all do. It's crazy. And we had good grandparents, strong grandparents, hardworking grandparents. And I missed that part for, like we said about the kids earlier where I couldn't speak. They don't know that. You know how we used to get on the back of Papa's truck and he'd take us riding around and bumping all across the farmyard and stuff? That used to be so much fun. I'm like, gosh, I miss it still. The kids today would just love something like that. If they can't do that no more, you can't even ride on the back of a truck anymore.
I think it's illegal.
That's a change in culture. I'll absolutely agree with you. That's been a change in culture. Even wearing the seatbelts in the back. It's so much things have adjusted now. They were riding back of the truck when I had them in Houston because I did give them the experience. Hold on. And once again, we're going off topic. But let me tell you about y'all. Let me tell you about our family members. I can't scream. I'm like, baby, taking the test right now, so I can't get too loud. But I want to get loud. I have been drinking. When that woman hit my damn truck, and every single one of their ass was in the damn truck, and I'm like, y'all did. I'm trying to stop cursing too. I was like, none of y'all, all y'all got smartphones. None of y'all took a picture of the license plate. When I tell you, I was going at least about 90, 95, going on a road that's supposed to go 50, trying to chase this woman down. Oh my God. Then I had to come back, get this crawfish. Then I remember because I got all these kids in the back of the truck. I got like 6 of them. And I'm like, think. You know, sometimes, but I was mad. Oh, I was mad. I wasn't mad at them, but I was judging them. Like, none of y'all, not one, not
They
one,
not thinking that quick on their feet.
not one. Yeah, and now I'm talking about this lady just rained all in my shit. I'm like, oh yeah, they yelling, Uncle Brandon. I'm like, what y'all talking about? Somebody hit your car. I'm drunk. I'm like, what?
But you know what? We had no fear back then. We wasn't scared of nothing. We had no fear. Our kids today scared of stuff like that. They know not to go jumping out the car, strange danger and all that. Us, we would have jumped out, tried to stop the car. No, there's Uncle Brandon truck. You didn't hit Uncle Brandon truck. Now you gonna stay right here. You know, we be doing all that extra stuff, but we had no fear of nothing like that. And this Uncle Brandon truck. Now you didn't hit Uncle Brandon truck. You got a whole set of problems with the rest of us back here in the back. It's 6 of us. Yeah, saying we ride illegal. What? But we would have jumped in front of the truck.
When the police came, and I was like, cool. I was making a report the whole time. I'm like, I hope he can't count. That's all I was thinking. I was like, I just hope he can't count. I was trying to make it sure with him. Cool, guy. Whatever works out, you good. I ain't even stressed about it. It happens, you know. It happens, you know. I'm just because the whole time in the back of my head, man. If he take the time and he really do an investigation, he can see I got like 4, 5 kids, one in the front seat and the rest in the back. I'm like, come on, let me go. Let me get this crawfish and get on out of here.
But it happens.
Yeah, I like.
The thing too, though, back then, if we would have got out and had a fight, it would have been definitely just a fist fight. Now, if you even say something wrong, somebody allowed to pull out a pistol, go shooting at you. That's a whole different culture.
Once again, big change.
Yes, yes.
And if one of us fought, all of us fought. We didn't care.
Oh,
one of us fought, all of us fought.
And it goes through to today.
Does it?
Yeah, because I almost got my baby ejected from the game yesterday because I was you pay $10 to get into this gym, and you have to bring your own seat. I had a problem with that. So I'm like, okay, so I'll go down the street, buy me one of them low folding chairs. When one game ends, you go sit your folding chair down and sit down and watch the game. When I walked up, this black lady and her home there beside her, she looked at me, she said, oh no, baby, go on, ain't no room for you here. What the hell did she just say to me? Go on, honey, ain't no room for you here. And then she bumped me. Oh my God. This shit here went up. And then she said, oh, what is it? I said, this girl told me with no room for me to sit down here. That's oh no, you put your chair down. It's fine. So you sit right there. I said, you know what? I don't even want to sit by this tramp no more. I'm gonna get my baby ejected.
But the thing is, y'all didn't fight though. Yeah, because once again, y'all talk. You know, I think once again, I'm still learning.
I'm human nature too. We not all gonna get along. I mean, that would be ridiculous to think that, but
and it's nothing.
It's how we come back from it.
Yeah, and there's nothing to even get upset about. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm just chilling. My main thing was like the kids getting together and they seeing each other for the first time and enjoying one another. But I think we became a lot more peaceful over the years. You know, a lot more. We'll try to find an understanding because I believe the more progress we make, the more things we have to lose. So we have to work smarter, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I look at. And there's nothing wrong with it, you know? But, you know, we'll bust your head if we need to. But the thing about it is peaceful. Let's try to, because that's what everything, we try to find out. Let's have a discussion about it before anything else. But I still reserve the right to whip your ass if it comes to that. But it's love. But come on, we went all the way around. We could come back. So being women in this family, what is it like being a woman in the Johnson? Well, y'all the Simmons, so y'all was the first. Like
it can be a blessing and a curse, and I'm saying it because we can be so strong that we can almost move a man around. I mean, because he has to come correct and he has to come real strong because we'll overpower somebody who's weak. I mean. That's just our honesty. Because we used to doing our own shit, you know. We carrying our own bags. We paying our own bills. We put that whole spin on independent woman because that's just how we were raised. I mean, we coming strong and you coming to the table with something, you better come good because otherwise you're going to get overshadowed and possibly put on the back burner. Then you're going to be looking crazy. We ain't trying to wear the pants and you know, we're not trying to do that. but it take a lot to shut us up and shut us down if stuff ain't right.
It's balance. Throw it to you, Angela. Oh, I know she got some shit. Stuff to say.
Stuff to say. Real talk, being Johnson, coming from the Johnson line, I could say that. Come from the Johnson line, we still family oriented people, just like Taunya laid off with, where they have your back. They are a connected group of people. They love hard. They may fight each other and get into it with one another because that's how they are. But don't come thinking that you're gonna jump in the middle of that, being an outsider, because they all gonna forget about they into one another and turn on you. So that's how connected and how tight knit the Johnson family is. And like Trey said too, to this day, they're like that. Back in the day, they were like that. And oh my gosh, they were so close knit, and it's still like that to this day. But they also was cookers too. They can burn a kitchen down with their food. That food would be so good and savory. And I'm a foodie, so I love food. So that's how I'm a big person of wanting to just cook for people, for the soul, for the spirit, for the love and the soul food of it, like the old movie Soul Food, where everybody would come together on a Sunday and everybody eat. That's how the Johnson family was. It is. Not just was, it is. With the passing of our cousin Mark Carroll, or Mark Carroll, or whatever we want to call him right now. But the passing of him, I've seen a lot of our Johnson family come as well, and someone wanted to speak to get an opportunity because there was so many people that wanted to speak on his behalf, on how much they respected him, how much they loved him, what fun things they had to say about him, what caring things they talked about, regardless of his lifestyle and his situation or whatever. He still loved family. If he gets your phone number, he texts you on your birthday. He would get everybody something. All the sisters, Ain't Gwen, Ain't Winnie, Ain't Dee Dee, all them, a calendar for Christmas. They talked about that. Our family is such a diverse family. There's so many of us, and there's so many different walks of life in it. But the caveat to it all is we are diverse, but we also are one and the same when it comes to love, respect, and cherishing one another. If one of us are going through something in that family, somebody's going to try to come through to help, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. But just know, somebody's going to try to come through and help you out. Now, on Grandma's side of the family, we just can't talk about Johnson. We got the Coleman, too. They're awesome people. We have good connection with some of our Coleman family that
Oklahoma,
we have relationships with now.
Yeah,
Oklahoma. And Leon Coleman, that's the best cousin ever.
Did you know? That's some things I've heard, but not until I start talking to some of our elders, because like Taunya, like when I try to teach the kids, I'm still learning myself. I'm still finding out more and more about family. I'm still finding out about grandpa's daddy. Uncle Rod knows that he had one-on-one contact with him. I don't know if any of y'all had it, but
I did growing up.
Did he play instrument?
Prior to me being
no, not a whole lot. I just remember going around the corner from grandma them and taking him food and stuff like that. Because he lived around, I think he had sugar or something, lost his leg.
For the people who don't know, sugar is diabetes. But hey, we have to break it down for the folks. We cool.
That's the countryside. He had sugar.
Hey, we speak a different language at times.
Papa Tim, my mama used to tell me, don't take my shoes off. And as soon as I get to Papa Tim's house, I take my socks and shoes off, and he would sit on the porch and cover me up with sand. I'd have dust all the way to my damn kneecap so I get back out. And mama would go slap off. He liked to put salt. He liked to put salt and pepper. He liked to put sand on my feet, so I let him put it on there. And Mama would slap off every time I go around there. Don't you take your damn shoes out? Okay.
Yeah, but he likes company because a lot of people, I guess, didn't really visit with him a whole lot. So he loved when the kids would come around there and talk to him and sit down with him. He'd tell you stories and stuff like that. And then, of course, Grandpa's mom, I loved her.
I remember her vaguely.
Mom.
I remember her, but vaguely. I heard she liked Shenee because she was light skinned with hazel
Grandma,
baby.
Yeah, Grandma Mitten. She was a
I've heard it from several sources too.
Yeah, she was an Indian. So she thought I looked more closer to the tribe. So of course I got away with lots of things when I went around there. And she always had stuff for me.
And Blackfoot, correct?
Yes. Blackfoot.
Yeah. I've done some research on the Blackfoot tribe. I think it's a descendant of the Cherokee tribe or one of the descendant tribes of that. And I remember I talked to Aaron a lot about it, because I don't know if I even talked to y'all about it. If we contact that tribe and we start
you can go to school just being affiliated. Yeah, there's lots of free,
but you have to be involved. I get like once again, if y'all seriously intrigued in doing so, I think the generation after, like for instance, your grandchildren, they'll be able to do it, but they have to be involved. I'm one of these big people. If you're going to receive something, like we should be giving back if we want to know, But if you give back, you'll get in return. You put as much in, you'll get back. So I'm heavy on that, But I know we had, like, when people say, I tell you, well, you got all black people got some Indian in them. I'm like, we do. I'm like,
we do for real. I was gonna say that too. People like, oh, you got good hair. You got this. Yeah, I got Indian in my family. Oh yeah, everybody say that. No, we do for real.
We are for real.
We really do.
Real close to home at that. We're not talking about all the way down the bottom of the tree.
Yeah.
We're talking about just on the limb over there.
Yeah, and I think that's our great grandmother,
Great grandmother.
Yeah,
and we're all first cousins, So when I try to bring the kids and family, hope to listen, I break it down how we're all actually related, how it looks, how the family tree breaks down, and how it continues to grow because we're getting further and further. We're growing, so it's what it looks like when we start extending out, and that's why I try to grab certain family members and like, hey, you do have family here, Don't forget about this.
Well, we didn't even lose relatives that were really close to us until we were grown. So we didn't even know what that even looked like. So that's a good thing that I can say for our generation here is we didn't lose people until we were grown that were really close to us. So when we have to experience death, that was a whole different thing for us because we didn't always know what that looked like, how that can look like.
Grown for us was like 22, 23, 24. That's our grown.
Yeah. But y'all have to understand. And I'm glad I didn't even think about that, but you bring that up. It's the opposite for me,
Yeah,
that was my life, Like I talk about my life was death. Like my death, like when I tell you, like every other weekend, like funerals, like one of my favorite songs in life is Going Up Yonder, because everywhere I was looking up, that's the song that was being played. I'm going to so many funerals, it was like back to back to back to back to back. And that's why, my wife will understand after I'm seeing that happen in her family now. Oh, hold on. And I'm seeing it happen in her family now that, man, they're having their first deaths in the family. Comes and waves. And I'm like, the way I look at death is different. I remember Taunya and I had a conversation about this. I look at death like, oh, let's get ready. We all go one day. It's so ingrained in my nature. Like it's sad because I was talking about DMX earlier in the chat, dating episode, but he said something that if he died today, just know he lived a good life. I think about that so much. If you go today, what would you say? How would you feel? What were the relationships you would have with people? Don't wait to get things right with people. Do it now.
That's true. That's true. That's real. That's real talk. Because I say that too, Brandon. Only thing that I always come back to say is I don't want anybody to stand up and say, I wish I could have. I wish I would.
Exactly.
Not with me.
Exactly.
Not with me. I don't want nobody to wish nothing with me. If you, I want to make sure that we've had a chance and opportunities to talk, and we, have a relationship that if something happened to me, you don't have no regrets from that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
Because, man, when I tell you, once again, having those deaths, like y'all generation had the deaths elder in age, and you're able to experience, see certain things. And my thing is, I not only got to experience that, but like when the death started happening, I remember Jolly, and the older ones. Then with grandma, grandpa, my mother, best friends. Like it was like Uncle Winnie, Uncle Burl. Like it was Uncle Burl and Uncle Winnie. It just kept happening, And this is not that was things didn't slow down until I was 21, So like that span, it was just full of death. And it's unique because when I'm talking about death in our family, now we're to the point where I still check on aunties. I still call. I still follow up with them. I just, Taunya and I had a conversation. Was it yesterday or something like that? I'm like, let me call. You feel me? Because I'm going to check. But they know I check frequently. I use this for a point that, and now I'm to the point like, man, I need to check on my younger cousins too. Because the way this world is, it's like something can happen to any of us. We got COVID going around. We have violence left and right. He may listen to this and may not, but man, when I tell you, I pray for, all the younger, and I pray for Buddy, because I'm like, Buddy is he remind me of my best friend when I was growing up, when they got killed, and just a good innocent soul, and just know how quickly that can go. But that's my trauma working with me, So that's something that is something we have to. I look at it, but something I take in with family. Even my girl, like Anki, I wanted to come down for the funeral, but I'm like, man, I got work. If I go to work, I'm gonna have to take off. I'm gonna have to do this, and because funerals is part of my family. It's crazy that it is. That's part of my culture with my family is funerals going. As much as we say we want to, I wish it was the opposite, where we meet and we have family reunions more often, things of that nature. But unfortunately, we have funerals. That's when we come together, and hopefully we continue to adjust and change that over the time. And I don't know how many other families feel like that's part of that culture as well, because I know it's part of other families, because they're like, let's have a reunion other than coming together during when someone dies. Mm-hmm. I've heard that be said in our family numerous times. So, thank y'all so much for listening to episode 9, season 3, the Simmons Sisters part 1. To check out part 2, make sure you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, or anywhere else you listen to a podcast. See y'all soon.